Welcome, fourth graders, to 2020-2021. Mrs. Lefersky and I are very excited for you to join our class this year. We're going to make a video for you to show you the expectations that we have for you and the learning outcomes, the things that you're going to learn in fourth grade. We have a lot of fun things in store. We can't wait to meet you. We can't wait to get you into the school to learn with us again this year. The first 2 weeks have been so much fun, but we are ready to get back, and we're excited to see all your smiling faces. So I'm Mr. Ackerson, and I'm really excited to meet every single one of you, all 30 students in fourth grade, because we're going to have a lot of fun together this upcoming school year. But I do have some things that we would like to get out there so that you know is that Mrs. Lefersky and I have extremely high expectations for you. We believe in you. We want what's best for you, and we're going to push you to become the best fourth graders, not only in Echo Canyon or in the Scottsdale School District, but in the state of Arizona and in the United States. We want you to be independent and think about things and solve problems on your own. We want you to fight through adversity, be resilient, and we want you to understand that we're going to make mistakes, we're going to have failures, but fighting through them and never giving up is going to bring us places and get us to our end result. Great quote by the great Dr. Seuss is, "Why fit in when you were born to stand out?" We want to see your individuality. We want to see how unique you are. We want you to think outside of the box and be creative and solve problems that nobody else may solve before. It is okay to make those mistakes, but we are here to help you through them. So in this video, you'll now learn what expectations we have of you in the classroom and the things that we want to learn throughout the school year. Again, we're super excited to see you. We can't wait to get back on campus here at Echo Canyon, and go Pack Go.
Over the course of fourth grade, students will acquire skills in a variety of subjects. Some of the subjects are English language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies. As part of the English language arts, students will participate in speaking and listening standards as well as language standards, and some of the skills that they will acquire in these domains include participate in collaborative conversations about a topic or a text. They will paraphrase and respond to information presented in discussions, comparing and contrasting ideas. They will also report orally on topics or texts, speaking clearly and at an understandable pace. And they will also use standard English grammar and usage with writing and speaking. Some examples of that would be relative pronouns, adverbs, progressive verb tenses, prepositional phrases. They will also produce and complete sentences using correct capitalization, commas, and quotation marks. Students will also spell grade appropriate words correctly, and they will determine and clarify meaning of unknown and multiple meaning words and demonstrate an understanding for language. In reading, students will read on-level texts with purpose and accuracy and fluency. Literature texts will be read, and students will refer to details and examples when explaining what the text says. They will determine theme from details in the text, compare and contrast. Students will also compare and contrast points of view from different stories, including first and third person. Students will also be reading informational texts, and they will refer to details and examples in the text when explaining what the text says explicitly and drawing inferences. They will determine main idea, explain how it is supported by key details, and summarize the text. They will also determine meaning of academic and domain-specific words and phrases. They will have the opportunity to compare and contrast and integrate information from two texts and first-hand, second-hand accounts of the same event or topic. And they will describe these differences with information. And in phonics, fourth grade students will use letter sound correspondences and syllable patterns, root words, to read unfamiliar and multisyllable words. By the end of fourth grade, students will acquire skills in math that pertain to operations and algebraic thinking, numbers and operations in base 10, numbers and operations, fractions, measurement and data, and geometry. In writing, fourth grade students will have the opportunity to compose opinion pieces. They'll have the opportunity to compose informative and explanatory texts. They will compose narrative texts. They will also be involved in the planning, and they will be involved in revising and editing using peer and adult feedback to develop and strengthen their writing. I know I use a lot of writer's workshop within my classroom. And they will also conduct short research projects that build knowledge on topics. In fourth grade social studies, students will begin the year with a study on American history. Then we will move to world history, civics and government, geography, and then we will end the year with economics. In writing, fourth grade students will have the opportunity to compose opinion pieces. They'll have the opportunity to compose informative and explanatory texts. They will compose narrative texts. They will also be involved in the planning, and they will be involved in revising and editing using peer and adult feedback to develop and strengthen their writing. I know I use a lot of writer's workshop within my classroom. And they will also conduct short research projects that build knowledge on topics. In fourth grade science, students will observe and ask questions and make predictions. They will participate in planning and conducting investigations and recording data. Students will also organize and analyze data, and they will compare that data to their original predictions. Students will communicate results of investigations, identify individual and cultural contributions to scientific knowledge. They will understand how science is a process for generating knowledge and describe the interactions between human populations, natural hazards, and the environment. They will understand the impact of technology and the basic structures in plants and animals also serve functions. They will understand the relationships among organisms and their environments. Students will identify plant and animal adaptations, investigate different forms of energy, and they will also understand the basics of electricity and understand processes acting on the earth and their interaction with earth systems. And also, they will understand characteristics of weather conditions and climate.
As you heard from Mrs. Lefersky, we are going to learn a lot this year in fourth grade. And we're here to help you and to guide you in this process, on this journey. And we're going to do it together, and we're going to learn so much. The next, I'm going to show you a little introduction to my room. It's not quite completed. And then Mrs. Lefersky has a presentation of how her online Bitmoji class works. My class also has a Bitmoji, but we are now using Google Classroom a little bit more. And the kids, I walk them through it, and I'm online with them and doing the IT stuff with them throughout the entire process. So her classroom is really interactive. It's really awesome and amazing what she's doing with that. And go check that out and watch that portion as well. So enjoy my tour of my classroom and enjoy Ms. Lefersky's Bitmoji classroom presentation. All right, boys and girls, we are walking into Mr. Ackerson's class right now. As you can see, we're still organizing things. And this is what's going to be like. We're going to have you help decorate our wall with the important things that we're learning about of all the subjects: science, reading, math, social studies, writing. So those are going to be where it is. I've got some things still left out here, pretty clean whiteboards. Those won't be that way. Oh, hey, look, all the sports teams Mr. Ackerson likes. Remember, I am from Wisconsin, so I do like those. The Blackhawks are my only team that are not from Wisconsin. There's my workspace. It's kind of messy. It will be neater as we get through. The flag that we will do the Pledge of Allegiance to. And, here we go. There's my craft kit. We've got a lot of board games that we're going to play. And just because we need that camaraderie. I've got more books that we're going to put out because you know what? We all need to read. The Wisconsin Badgers family rules. We are a family in this class, and we're going to treat each other as such and use respect and kindness in everything that we do. So this is what Mr. Ackerson's room looks like right now. And it will change throughout the year. Don't worry.
Welcome to Mrs. Lofersky's virtual classroom. This is what our bit emoji classrooms will look like. And it's really awesome because they are interactive. This is actually a one-room schoolhouse in Strawberry, Arizona. It was the first schoolhouse in Arizona. If you click on Mrs. Lofersky here in the corner with her coffee, you can click on the Back to School information slide. And on the slide that we had shared with you, we have our expectations listed. So here are a few virtual classroom expectations. I'm going to go to... So I asked the kids to think of 3 expectations for our virtual classroom, and I gave them some questions to think about when we answered our Padlet. And a few of those things that we had talked about was, how do you want people to treat each other in and out of our classroom? And how do you expect the teacher to act? How do you expect your classmates to act? And what should we do to show respect while learning online together? And how do you learn your best? Then we had the opportunity to answer a Padlet poll where students would upload different expectations to our Padlet. We called it Roar from a Distance. One student said, don't interrupt, no bullying, even online, read at home and read at school, listen, learn, be nice, be safe. A few expectations that I wanted to mention, what Mr. Ackerson and myself expect, important things to remember with enhanced distance learning. I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see it. So a few expectations that we have to keep in mind this year. Daily attendance is expected. The schedule has been carefully planned to maximize learning. So we are taking attendance in the AM and the PM this year as well. Be sure you have your child's supplies. Oh, and just going back to with daily attendance, even if you do know or you're having issues with your internet, it's really important that you notify one of the teachers, because then we can give you credit for being here for the day. Number 2, be sure you have your child's supplies ready to go. We had just done a materials pickup this past week. If you missed that, you can also email Mr. Ackerson or myself, and we will make sure that your child gets the supplies that they need. Students are expected to be prepared to learn at 8:45. I'm sorry, that should say 7:45. Typo. 7:45. And dress in school appropriate attire. The breakfast has been eaten with all materials available and ready to us, just as if we were in person. Create an appropriate quiet workspace that is most conducive to learning with no distractions. It is important for students and parents to regularly review returned assignments and teacher feedback. I know on Google Classroom, I'm trying my best to give feedback and graded assignments within 24 hours of them being completed. So I will try to stay on top of that as well. Number 5, our school day will mirror a typical school day as much as possible. There will be synchronous, live teaching and independent work throughout the day. Number 6, and we posted our daily schedules. I have mine on Buzz. I know Mr. Ackerson will post his on Google Classroom. So you can always check the daily schedule to see what kids are expected to do, and they know that as well. Keep other devices off during class time. So no phones, no Nintendo Switches, no computers on in the background, just to eliminate the amount of distractions would be optimal. Number 7, please try to keep pets in another room during class time, and it can be distracting. So I kind of, on the first and second day, I allowed my students to show off their pets because I know they're very proud of them. I think the times that it becomes distracting is if we're in the middle of a math lesson and somebody decides to grab their dog or their cat and have show and tell time when the rest of us are trying to learn. It can become distracting, even though our pets are adorable. Number 8, your positive attitude will help your child have a positive attitude. We want to be unified in our messaging of importance of EDL. So it's so important that no matter how difficult it is with online learning, that we keep a positive attitude around students at all times, and they will adopt that attitude and they will come to class even more prepared. Number 9, learning is important, and we are looking for a seamless transition from EDL to in-person. When we return to campus, the learning progression will continue. We will not reteach the standards taught during EDL. So whatever we're teaching here in EDL is the real deal. When we get back in person, we will not be re-going over these standards because they were already taught. And number 10, it says 5th grade, but this is for 4th grade. 4th grade is a year to master independence. Have high expectations for your child doing their own work with some support from you or their teacher as needed. And I do know that I am on Class Dojo. Mr. Ackerson is not. You can always email him, but I am always here through email or via Class Dojo to answer any questions that you may have. And I always check that during school hours only. And I will try to respond to you as soon as possible.
And that is what 4th grade is going to be about. We're super excited to go on this journey with you. We want you to stay positive, to be hopeful, to ask questions, to make friends, to confide in us as your teachers, to learn and grow. And it's going to be a great ride. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Believe it, achieve it. It's going to be a great year. We can't wait to see you. Keep up the good work online, and make sure that if you have questions, we're here to answer them. Never give up. Stay positive. We'll see you soon.